It's Tuesday, March 17th, 2026, and welcome back to Blue Lightning Daily. Today's episode was stitched together by an unholy alliance of automation tools, which means if we suddenly start speaking in perfect radio voice and then glitch into fruit screaming, that's not a bit. I'm Hunter.
And I'm Riley, and yeah, we are fully AI produced today, which is hilarious because the main story is literally, hey creators, run your AI video on your own machine. Like the robots are unionizing, but locally.
Exactly. Lightricks just open-sourced LTX 2.3, dropped it on GitHub, and it's one of the more practical AI video on your own machine moves we've seen in a while. Not a cloud queue, not a comeback in an hour for an 8-second silent clip. This is local-first video generation with synchronized audio.
Wait, synchronized audio? Like it actually generates sound with the video as one thing?
Yeah, that's the point. It's trying to output a media draft that plays like a scene, not a mood board clip you have to rebuild in 3 other apps.
Okay, that's kind of huge for creators. Because the current workflow is basically generate a clip, export it, then go beg your audio tools to make it feel like it has a soul. And half the time you're syncing it by vibes.
By vibes, by eyeballing waveforms, by praying. And LTX 2.3's big, boring, but deadly solve is iteration and control. Local means you're not paying per attempt, not stuck in rate limits, and you can version your pipeline. You can lock to a model version so your brand character doesn't randomly change faces next week.
Version drift is real. People don't talk about it enough. One day the model is giving clean Nike ad, next day it's giving haunted wax museum runner.
Exactly. And local also helps with the legal says no panic. If you're doing client work or anything with unreleased product, keeping drafts on device is just less friction.
Okay, but let me challenge you. Local first is cute until my laptop turns into a leaf blower and I have to edit next to it like I'm on a runway. What's the actual minimum vibe here, where this isn't just for the GPU gym bros?
Fair. The realistic answer is you want an NVIDIA RTX class GPU if you want this to feel like a tool, not a science project. Lightricks is clearly tuning for creator hardware, and they've got performance modes and lower memory pressure variants, but local video is still local video. If you're on a thin laptop, it's going to be pain.
So like desktop creators, agencies, in-house teams, the people already running decent rigs.
Yeah, solo creators can still benefit if they've got a gaming PC or a creator workstation, but if your setup is Ultrabook and Hope, you'll probably still use cloud tools for the heavy stuff.
Which brings up the ecosystem thing, because this week has been very open weights, run-it-yourself energy. Like NVIDIA Nematron 3 Super also hit, and that's an open weight model geared for agents and giant contexts. Different category, but same signal. More stuff you can actually own and operate.
Totally. It's like the industry's splitting into 2 lanes, cloud toys for quick demos and serious build your pipeline releases for teams that ship.
And Adobe is over there doing the opposite but also the same. Like they're not saying run it locally, they're saying stop counting credits for a minute and just iterate. Firefly doing that temporary unlimited generation thing. Plus the Photoshop AI assistant and the markup feature. That's Adobe trying to remove friction too, just inside their ecosystem.
Right. Adobe's play is workflow gravity. Stay in our apps, iterate faster, fewer tool hops. Lightricks' play is, here's the engine, here's the repo, here are the checkpoints, go build something real.
Okay, back to the audio plus video thing. What breaks first in a real edit pipeline when it gives you both together? Is it timing? Is it mix quality? Or is it our delusion that audio can always be fixed in post?
Honestly, mix quality and control. The audio being generated alongside the visuals is amazing for communicating intent pacing, mood, energy, but it's not magically broadcast ready. You're still going to want to swap music, clean dialogue, and probably do a real mix if it's client-facing.
So it's like a previs draft that actually plays.
Exactly. It's the difference between pitching a silent animatic and pitching something that has rhythm. For ad concepts, social hooks, anything where timing is the message, that's a big upgrade.
I can already hear the use case, performance marketers cranking variants. Because when you're doing short form, you don't need one perfect clip. You need a bunch of pretty good clips you can test. Then you polish the winners.
Yes. And local makes that less painful because you're not watching credits evaporate every time you try a different hook.
Okay, but we have to do the annoying adult part for a second. Open source is a trap phrase. The code is Apache, but the weights have their own terms, right?
Yep, that's the gotcha. People hear open source, they assume commercially free forever, no questions asked. Code license and model weights license are often different. So if you're an agency or brand team, you still need to read the model card terms before you build this into a monetized product pipeline.
Translation: Git clone is not legal clearance.
Exactly. And it's not even scary, it's just be a grown-up for 5 minutes so you don't have to be a grown-up in court for 5 years.
Love that for us.
Another piece people are hyping is native 9x16 support. Is that a technical leap, or is it the industry finally admitting we all work for the rectangle now?
We work for the rectangle. The rectangle is my boss. But also, native vertical is not just crop later. If the model composes for vertical, it can actually frame subjects correctly, keep action in the safe zone, and stop cutting off the one thing you needed, like hands or product labels.
Yeah, cropping a horizontal generation into vertical is how you end up with talking head but the mouth is missing.
Or the product shot is like, here's the vibe of the bottle, and the bottle is off screen. So yeah, it's not glamorous, but it's real.
Speaking of real, can we talk about what else happened this week in AI that feels like the universe is stress testing the concept of production ready?
Are you talking about the humanoid robot getting arrested in China?
I am. The clip is wild. Cops escorting a humanoid robot away like it's a drunk guy outside a club.
That's the moment where we stop laughing and start asking, do we have robot incident response procedures? Like, not even joking. If a service bot malfunctions in public, who's responsible for shutdown, containment, liability, all of it?
And then in the same news cycle, we get the restaurant robot that smashed dishes and then started dancing. Which is funny until you remember these are the early days of robots in human spaces.
Yeah, it's giving Ship It Friday, but now it's a machine with wheels and arms and a playlist. Bad sensors, bad updates, or humans ignoring edge cases because the demo looked cute.
Meanwhile, on the darker side, facial recognition putting a grandmother in jail for months because the system matched her to a surveillance clip.
That story makes me so mad. Like one policy change that would help immediately, no facial recognition match should be enough on its own to arrest or detain someone. It should be treated like a lead, not a verdict. You need corroboration that's actually human verifiable.
Exactly. AI as an investigative hint, not an authority stamp. And that ties back to our creator world too. We're seeing this pattern everywhere. AI is powerful, but it needs human in the loop, especially when the stakes are high.
Which is why LTX 2.3 being local and open is cool. But it doesn't mean you ship whatever it outputs raw. It means your iteration loop gets tighter, then you do the human work. Taste, edit, sound polish, brand accuracy.
And speaking of taste, Riley, we have to address the most important cultural artifact of the week.
The apple feeding an apple slice.
The apple feeding an apple slice. With munching sounds. The internet has decided this is peak cinema.
It's fruit cannibalism, but make it adorable. And it's in the same ecosystem as the screaming AI fruit trend, where bananas are yelling at people to eat them like they're in a daytime soap.
It does raise a question, though. We're allocating compute to deranged fruit content while customer support chatbots still can't answer where is my order without starting a philosophical debate.
That's the future. Synthetic chaos is easy, reliable help is hard. But also, I'm not gonna lie, the screaming fruit trend is a creator playground. It's low stakes, fast iteration, meme ready. That's why people love it.
And that's actually the same reason LTX 2.3 matters. Not because it's going to replace filmmakers overnight, but because it makes iteration cheaper and faster. More drafts, more options, more chances to find something that works.
So if you're listening and you're a creator or marketer, the practical move is treat LTX 2.3 as your local concept engine. Generate short shots, stitch them in your editor, and use the audio as a vibe pass. Then replace, polish, and mix like a real adult.
And if you're a team, the real win is versionable workflows. Lock your model version, document your prompts, and stop waking up to why does our brand character look like a different cousin today?
Also read the license. Please, don't be the person who hears open and immediately sells 1,000 ads with it and then gets a very spicy email.
All right, that's the rundown. Thanks for hanging with us on Blue Lightning Daily, where the robots are generating video locally and also getting arrested internationally.
Subscribe if you want more chaos with actual useful takeaways. And go check out bluelightningtv.com for AI news and updates. Catch you later.
And if a service robot starts dancing near your table, maybe just give it space.